Hello, everyone. I hope you are well. I am live for Monday Mindset Mentor. Just about got that out. Hello. I am live into the Dynamite Effect. I am live on Instagram. I thought I would do two places at the one time today. So I might look here, I might look there, but I am talking to both of you. Okay. So my name is Kim. It is good to be here on this beautiful Monday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are ready to get your week kicked off into acceleration towards your goals. You should always set your intentions at the start of the week. Today, what I'm here to share with you, you can give me some hellos here on Facebook or on Instagram. And if you have any questions, maybe pop them in. I'll try, but I can't promise. But what I'm here to talk to you about today is your mind and what impact the thoughts that you're having, attracting, accepting, what are they having to your life today? And essentially, I'm going to read a little bit to you. But before I do, did everybody see what we were up to for my birthday celebrations over the weekend? Oh my goodness, we went to Supercar Sunday. We were driving supercars as fast as we could all weekend. It was absolutely incredible. And I'm so grateful to be 35. Woohoo! This is my first week being 35. So we're going to see how much more productive that we can be, what we can get out of this next year and more. And we had a great time. But you might have seen my post about my pencil. If you didn't, then go read it. I'm going to talk a little bit about this today. What you can see here, well, what I asked for my birthday, you always get that question, what do you want for your birthday? Well, I have no idea. I don't really want for very much because I have the ability to create a lot. And I'm always about how can I give? The biggest thing that I always want to do on my birthday is how many people can I help? How many people can I give gifts or presents to? That's my favorite thing to do on my birthday. But one thing I asked for was a pencil. I wanted a beautiful, I'll hold it here, a beautiful gold pencil. I love the little pump pencils. I don't know if you use them, but I'm going to tell you why I chose this and why I love this one. This one, Lindsay got me, and it says, if you can see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand. And for anybody that doesn't realize, see this logo up here? Dynamite Lifestyle, that is the vibration of the voice saying this quote. So it's Bob's quote, it's said in my voice, and that is our company logo. And that's what it means. If you can see it in your mind, you will always hold it in your hand. And that's how the creation process works for me, for you, for everybody. There is no escaping this. There is only one way that results are created in this physical world that we're living in. And it always starts in the mind, and then secondary, it happens in the hand. Okay. Everything that you have in front of you right now, absolutely, look around you. Everything was first created in someone's mind. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't be there right in front of you. So think about that. Now, what does that mean for you? Well, simply what that means is, well, you've got a mind. There is actually only one mind in this entire universe. You are a version of it, and you get to go out and experience and create what you want. But you got to then understand how to use the mindset. That's, they're like mental muscles. And if you've never been taught how to use them, how to work them out, then they're probably a wee bit dusty. They'll probably get a wee bit sore, like when you go to the gym and you haven't been in a while. But my goodness, your performance just goes through the roof. You multiply your income, you multiply your happiness. And by the way, it's not in that order. You don't get money and then become happy. You become happy and then you effortlessly attract money on demand. Okay. And why I've brought this pencil up and why I asked for it is because I'm going to give you a little tip. I've already shared it to you guys on Instagram throughout this week, but for everybody in the Dynamite Effect, I want to share this with you. And simply that is, in this creation process that we talk about, it starts in the mind and then it turns into the hand. There's a process that kind of happens in the middle of all of that. Because how do you get what's in your mind out into this physical world? Well, you've got to turn that fantasy into a theory and then into a fact. And that's the creation process that I teach as a high performance mentor to my clients who are wanting to multiply income, Because guess what? If you want to multiply your income, do you know what you've got to multiply? Your ideas. Okay? If you ever want to multiply your income, you do not work harder. You do not spend more time. You don't reuse old worn strategies that maybe worked last year or the year before that. You come up with new ideas. Multiply income, multiply ideas. Now, what comes with that is then multiplying your implementation. What you do in the middle is very important. Okay? Without you, the ideas remain stillborn. They do not move into physical manifestation. You are the catalyst to that. All right, that's what makes me so excited to help people tap into their infinite potential, because without you, it will stay an idea. And guess what happens sometimes? Those ideas are things, they don't just disappear. Nothing disappears. Energy is neither created or destroyed. It moves from one form into another. Okay, that's transmutation of perpetual energy. That's just how energy works. You or I are not going to change that. So when you don't act on an idea, sometimes you look around a year, 2 years down the line, could be a week. Somebody else had that idea and they did implement it and they did multiply their income. So just be very mindful of when you don't act on an idea, you don't want to let that idea just float about in the ether. Okay, for somebody else who's maybe receptive, who's maybe ready to commit and take action, because that idea will go into form regardless. Now, one thing with that I will point out is never work from lack. There's no lack of ideas. Okay, so don't panic and think, right, I have to action every single idea, grab them in case somebody else gets it. It doesn't work quite like that. Okay, if you don't act on it, then it wasn't supposed to be for you. But what I would say is, how many times have you not taken action? Have you not acted? Okay. I was just reading earlier on Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. And he talks about in, I think it's the chapter Autosuggestion. And he says, do not wait on a plan. Start at once. Now think about this. How many times have you maybe been waiting on a plan, waiting on that sign, waiting on money, waiting on time, waiting on something? And yet every single person who knows anything about success, who's demonstrated by success in results, who has taught, the universal principles of success, they've all said you have to start immediately. And you have to be alert for plans coming through. So this is why I have this pencil. Now I have pens and I have pencils, and I use these two creative tools very differently. Okay. I understand that I am the architect of my life. Okay. Everything that ever is anything is designed in the mind and then held in the hand. The way I wanted my office designed first started in my mind. Now I'm sitting in the office. Okay. Same with how your house is decorated, the car that you drive, the type of home that you live in. Okay. So when it comes to creating new things in your life, creating your goals, creating your vision, creating the next 5, 10 years of your life, when is the last time that you've actually sat down and first sat down? Okay. When's the last time that happened? Actually sat down, not to do work, not to fall asleep watching Netflix, but to sit down and actually think. I think that comes before sitting down and writing your goals. Bob always taught you just have to pick up a pen and write down on a piece of paper what you want, and we can show you how to do it. And I think that is absolutely accurate. But what I think trips most people up is they don't do the first part, which is sitting down. And I think that to get you to a place where you're going to be calm in mind, where you're going to actually be able to think from the creative aspect instead of just out of, oh, I don't have time, or I'll think about that later, out of that almost reactionary state that we live in most of the time. If you actually schedule in some time, like put it this way, let's say you had a sore tooth this week and you ended up having to rearrange appointments and go to the dentist, right? Let's say you're in the dentist for just 1 hour. Isn't it amazing that when you have the sore tooth, you're able to find the hour to go to the dentist? My point is, Have you ever scheduled in time for you to sit down and think? I actually have a full day dedicated to that in my life. Every single week, there is one day, it's a Friday, and that's where I sit and I think. That's my biggest income producing day. Not in that day, but in the seeds, the ideas that I'm planting in that space that will bear fruit at a different time, because everything has a gestation period. So I want you to start looking at your results differently. Don't look at what is happening right now, guys. Do you know why? Because it's old, it's done, it's past. Everything you've achieved up to this point is now in the past. So if we don't stop, sit down and think, pause, and we keep just kind of reacting to what's here and now, we're never actually in the now. And we'll never actually create a different pattern for new stuff to happen. So the reason that I asked for a pencil for my birthday and why I see these two things as different creative tools. Firstly, why is it a creative tool? Because it's what allows my ideas to move from a non-physical state to something more tangible. That in itself, from when you have an idea, like even if you just think of a dog, then you draw a dog. See, from it going from your mind to the pen or the pencil on the paper, that's transmutation of perpetual energy. That's how we convey ideas. But again, how many times have you actually sat down and thought, what do I want? So the first part was, when do you ever sit down? Second then step, because you can't get to this step until you've sat down. This is a process. Keep it super simple. This is where everybody gets it wrong. People don't write down their goals, not because they don't want to write down their goals. They don't set any time in their life to prioritize writing down their goals. So that's the first step. Sit down and think. Second step then is to start to allow your ideas to flow out. Now, why have I got two creative tools? Well, this is my tip to you. Take time this week, whether it's an hour, whether it's half an hour, whether it's 10 minutes, minimum 10 minutes, at some point this week, sit down with a pen and pencil and grab yourself a notebook, okay? And the beautiful thing about these two tools and the way I use them is I write gratitude with my pen, okay? Because I see pen as more permanent than pencil. That in itself is a paradigm, but it works in this situation, right? Paradigms are not negative or positive in themselves, right? So this is the way I've allowed myself. Why have I done this? I'll tell you why. When I write with a pencil, I don't really write with a pencil, I draw with the pencil. It's not permanent. When I write with a pen, it is more permanent. Now you could rip the page out. But why and how does this help me become more creative as an entrepreneur, as a business owner? Because have you ever sat down with a pen, and maybe it's a new notebook, or maybe it's just a notebook in general, and you start to think, but you don't want to write anything down because it's in pen. There's almost sometimes a little block. Let me know if that ever has happened to you. It's like almost like your mind just kind of jams a little bit. Well, here is the key. Once you've written your gratitude, which is start always, I'm so happy and grateful now that, and list 5 things that are in the here and the now that you can be grateful for. Could be your current clients in business, could be your team, could be your wife, your husband, your pets, your children. It could be the sun in the sky, even when the clouds are out. It could be anything. It's something right now. It could be a cup of coffee. Okay, anything that you're grateful for. What that does is it gets you into first and second gear. It's easy to be grateful, let's say for water or juice, because it's right here. It's tangible. I can see it. I can taste it. I can be refreshed by it. So I can be really grateful for something that's my senses are able to identify as real. Okay, that's easy. So if I'm a parked car, by being grateful for that, that gets me into first, second gear. I have momentum. When you're dealing with the mind, when you're dealing with energy, you've got to consider momentum, right? so vastly missed. And if you're in business, if you're in sales, I mean, just in life, even your training, your patterns at home, when there's a bit of a pattern and everything's moving at a nice speed, things speed up. You don't even have to be going fast. So if you can figure out how you raise your energy in your body, you're going to have more energy. You're going to express more energy. And when you express more energy, you feel good, you look good, your health is good, your relationships are good, and you bring in more money. Why does that bring in more money? Because when you have a good attitude and you have abundance as your mindset, you start to attract better deals, better conversations, more calls, more people buying from you, better relationships because you're in a good place. All right. You think about you and the rest will fall into place. That's the key to it. All right. Now, when you write with a pen, 5 things in the present, then I encourage you to write 5 things that are maybe happening this week that haven't happened yet. Maybe you've got a job interview. Maybe you're going and launching something this week. Maybe you're going to be spending time with people that is going to be difficult for you. Well, what I want you to do is I want you to write in pen 5 things that you're grateful for that haven't actually physically happened yet, but I want you to be grateful as if they already have. Okay? So if I was going for a job interview on Friday and today's Monday, I'm so happy and grateful. I aced my interview. I was calm, I was confident, and I got the perfect outcome for me. Okay, that could be an example. So you say it like as if it's already happened, right? Then the third part of this teaching is to bring out the pencil. I want you to try this. You've written your gratitude in pen. The reason that I put that in pen is because it's permanent. And the reason that I believe you should put your gratitude in permanent ink is because no matter what else happens in your life, this is why today is a good day. Whether I get that job interview or not, today I'm really happy and grateful because I've got this. Okay? We've got to be happy and feel abundant regardless of circumstance, situation, or what's in your bank account. When you are able to become centered and subjective, meaning feeling and thinking from the inside out, instead of, well, it's a good day if good things happened. No, every day is a good day. Every day is a blessing. So write that in permanent ink, right? Then the last part is with the pencil. Pick up your pencil. And the trick with this is because if you're anything like me, and maybe you're not, but in my mind, a pencil is not just as permanent. Okay, it's not just as definite. So I leverage that. And what I mean by that is I use my pencil, this creative tool. I didn't just buy any pencil. I wanted a beautiful gold pencil that is special. This pencil, I can tell you now from me, and you mark my words, this pencil is going to help me go to way above 100 million. No doubt in my mind. Okay. I don't know how. I don't know what that's going to mean. But guess what? I don't need to know. Okay. This is the best part about the creative process. You get to explore your imagination. Now, I mentioned at the start of this Monday Mindset Mentor section that you have a mindset. Now, one of the mental muscles, okay, you've got a few, but one of them is your imagination. And dependent on how much you use your imagination, which if you're an adult is maybe not as much as when you were a kid, right? Depending on your job role, depending on your typical habitual paradigms, you're a creative person, analytical person, depending on a whole lot of things, your imagination will either be strong or it'll be a little bit weak, okay? Mine was a wee bit weak until I started doing this work. So when I started to think, what do I want? I kept kind of coming up with the same things, right? At that time, it was I want to live in a nice house. I would love to drive a nice car. I'd love to run my own business. I would love to be able to help my family out. I'd love to be able to go on nice holidays. And it was kind of like those kind of habitual thoughts. Your imagination works by habit. Okay, just like you do. You wake up in the morning, pew, you move straight into habit. You do the same things in the same way all the time. Well, your imagination is kind of like that. So when you sit down, you might come out with the same ideas. You might be blank. You might go, I don't know. And then you get stuck at the I don't know for a long time. Just ask yourself, if I knew, what would that be? If there was no possible chance of me ever failing and I could do anything and make it a success, what would that be? What would that look like? You will start to feel your mind gradually start to pick up a little bit of momentum, depending on where your set point is. If you do a lot of this work, you'll be able to get there a lot quicker. If you're not new to this work, then you're going to have to maybe sit and think for a wee while, but that's okay. That part's free, okay? But I want you to play with these questions. If I had a magic wand, what would I do? And here's a really good one. If you've ever heard of people having money paradigms, right? Where they've got these mental money blocks, right? I have a very different kind of slant on that. But anyway, if you feel like you're somebody that, when it comes to money, it's a bit of a sticky subject. What I have found is a really easy way to trick your paradigm is, instead of saying, if I earned 100,000, what would I do? Ask yourself, if you were to win or be given 100,000, what would you do? And I will tell you now, it will be easier if you're that person that money is a bit of a sticky subject. Then that will actually help you use your imagination more, because there's a funny thing that happens to us human beings. Your perception shifts. Nothing changed. It was still 100,000. The only thing that shifted was, in one statement, you earn the 100,000. And in the other statement, you were given 100,000. If you've listened to me, and you've asked yourself that internally, you'll feel a shift from those two statements. Okay, you can let me know if I'm correct. If you're the person that feels you've got some money belief issues, okay, then you will feel the difference in that. Well, maybe how would I earn 100,000? Am I good enough to earn 100,000? Would I be able to suddenly go down that train? And then we never actually get to answer the question, which is, what would you do with it? If you're given it, it takes all that kind of self-image pressure off. And suddenly you now start to think. I always think, lean into these things, use it as your advantage. Just know how to ask yourself the right questions. And when you ask these questions, and that's enough, sometimes people go, Kim, what are the other questions? If you just sit down, do gratitude, and ask yourself that one question, you're doing good. So let's just start there. If it was impossible for you to not fail, you just can't fail, no matter what you do, you're going to come out on top. What and how does that look for you? Forget about the 3 kids and the 2 dogs. Forget about who's going to do the school run or how your employer is going to work that for you. Forget about everything and just dream. And when you lift up the pencil for this section, you will feel, if you give yourself permission, you will feel the pencil start to allow you to express some of these ideas. I have found in the beginning, when I used a pen, because it seemed more permanent, I kind of was doing more bullet points or lists. When I use a pencil, I draw whatever comes out. Sometimes the writing's halfway down the page. Sometimes there's a diagram. Sometimes there's a spider diagram. Sometimes there's just random doodles. There is no right or wrong. The pencil gives you this weird knowing that it's okay to dream. It's okay to go there. And then the key thing is, if you do that every day, and you keep playing with this idea, adding to the picture, letting it chew over in your mind as you go about your daily work. And each day you just build on this picture. There will be one day, then you pick up the pen and you turn it into a fact. And what that means is you will have said it that much to yourself over a period of time that it's almost normalized. It's almost like, well, this is what I'm doing. There's no other option. Now, it doesn't mean you need to know the how. It doesn't mean that you need to know where the money's going to come from or the people or how you're going to have the time. There will come a day if you do this exercise and you play and you allow your imagination to explore possibilities. I guarantee there'll be a day you'll pick up the pen and you'll commit to it. And you'll make it permanent. And you'll make that permanent decision. And then you can start on the creative process. That's exactly what we see every single week from our clients to myself. These are practices that we do every single day. Like I have all my books. I've got my team meeting books. I have a full book like this called Ideas. And that is where I literally on a Friday grab my ideas book, grab my 100 million pound pencil. Okay. And why I'm calling it this the 100 million is because that's my goal. I have no idea how to do it, but I know I just need to come up with a 100 million pound idea. Then I need to take actions and implement like a person does at the level of 100 million. And that all starts in the mind, letting your imagination do what its job is, which is to help you create. If you can see it in your mind, you hold it in your hand. And then you've got to be the person that's going to decide. You're going to commit. And of course, if you're interested, then we can show you the process that follows that. If anyone's ever interested and you want to chat to us, chat to the team, do a complimentary discovery call, get on a call with the team. You've met most of our team. Our team is very small. We have a team of 12 and 6 of those guys are our associates. You've seen them on yachts. You've seen them in supercars. You've seen them on our events. And you know what? You've seen them when they started. If you've been here watching us for, we've been going now for 7 years, which is pretty awesome. And we are no different to you. Everything starts the same. As I've said, I don't know how I'm going to hit my goal, but I know that I will. That is an absolute definite cert. So if I was you, I would take these habits, these little small, significant little tips and implement them. Play with the idea. Don't see this as, why is this girl thinking she's the number one in the world? She's teaching me how to use a pencil. Listen to the people who demonstrate by results. I get incredible results personally. I get them professionally with my clients. And it's these little tiny, small, incremental shifts that really make for the big impact. It's not about getting your schedule totally cleared out. It's not about being up at 4 a.m. and doing all sorts of different meditations and exercises. No, it's about becoming aligned with your vision, matching your vibrational state with the goal that you desire. You do that through writing, through impressing a thought on your subconscious mind, and then acting from that place. So take this tip today, everybody on the Dynamite Effect. It's been awesome being here with you. Thank you guys on Instagram for watching as well. And we're back every single Monday at this time, giving you value. If you've any significant topics that you would love me to teach on, please let me know in the comments box. I'm here to serve you every Monday. It's supposed to be 15 minutes, but we do about 30 minutes. So use me. Shout out, put it in the comments box. What are topics that you want from me? I would rather know that and give you really good intentional value than me just come on and talk about my birthday presents. All right. Enjoy, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And we'll be back very soon. Bye-bye.